What's up, everybody? It's another week, and as you guys know, this is going to be State of Ragnarok Transcendence number 5 with your main man Debo. Hope you guys are surviving well, staying inside, practice social distancing, washing your hands, and only going outside when absolutely necessary. They laughed at us back in the 90s and early 2000s, boys, that we stayed inside too much to play video games, but now our moment has arrived, and we've been waiting for this whole moment our entire lives, so joke's on them. But in all seriousness, wash your hands, social distance, and make sure you guys get your vitamin C up, vitamin D3 up, and just listen to your officials, and that's about it. And that's all I want to say about that. Fifth installment of Ragnarok, or State of Ragnarok Transcendence, and not gonna lie to you, not much to go on right now. The interesting fact of the economy is that, believe it or not, the bubblegums and also the experience books have went up. I think that's partially because, more or less, they have an experience event going on for everybody to stay inside due to the COVID-19 quarantine. Kind of everybody just kind of staying home and practicing social distancing and stuff like that. They put a little experience event out with increased drop of items, I do believe, as well. So that could be the reason why a lot more people are buying them, trying to get the most bang for their buck. The scary thing is there's not a lot of battle manuals and bubblegums on the market. Usually there's 2 to 3 pages, and I only saw one today. So. And they're all listing at 166k per, so we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. I'm not too for sure. I don't know with this epidemic going on if it's gonna have a great impact. I mean, they kind of said it honestly in the forums, barring no one gets sick or nothing crazy happens, they'll be able to crank out the game. In all honesty, man, the offices where they do a lot of these updates is from California. And California's not too well with the COVID-19 pandemic. Don't mean to talk about all the stuff that's going on. I try to keep more lighthearted, focused about the gaming, but it does factor into the State of Ragnarok Transcendence. I mean, let's be real. If anybody down there gets sick or anything crazy happens, or they lose a couple staff members and they have to close things down, all that stuff realistically is gonna delay everything. Woo, that's good. We're still waiting on Woe. There's no... They said they're going to try to have it done by the end of this month. I just can't see that happening. We really didn't get a good chance to test Woe on the servers. There's not a lot of players on it. At the max, I see Sacre with maybe 20 people if you're lucky. The fever fields that they included have been pretty cool. It seems like when you go into certain areas, like example, Orc Dungeon, you kill a certain amount of... orcs, orc zombies, or if you're just on the orc map and you kill, certain monsters of that type, the way it should work is, it will spawn a champion version of that monster. And then when you kill the champion version of that monster, I think after so many champion monsters are killed, then it spawns like a little boss monster of that type. And I do believe the champion and the boss monsters can have different modifiers from this monster has additional flee, this monster has, does additional damage, has more HP, and then when you kill them, they drop a certain type of armor gear that has the enchants on it. So that's fantastic, and I'm already looking forward to that. Basically, if you wanted to hunt for certain items, you would hunt for it on that map. So for instance, like if you're hunting on the Orc Zombie or Orc Dungeon 1 map, the champions and all the bosses and everything are going to spawn on that map. They're not going to spawn on another one. If you go to down the dragons in Abyss, all the dragons you fight down there will eventually spawn a champion, and then a champion spawns into the boss one, and you'll fight the monsters there, and they'll drop certain gear with the enchants on them, because that's all we want. We want every single piece of gear that we have on our character to have an enchant on it. And some of the enchants are pretty amazing. I saw specifically one I wanted to look at was the garment, and garments having the chance to roll flee on them. That would be incredibly powerful. Could you imagine a garment with 30 flee on it, and then also with the Whisperer card? Amazing. 50 flee? That's incredible. But don't want to get too ahead of myself. I don't know if, certain monsters will drop or have a different loot table if they're, from when you're hunting them. Or, like, let's say, for instance, let's say you hunt a Sohi. You kill a Hosohi, Sohi has a chance to drop a garment, which is a muffler. And when you get that muffler, right, you're wondering, okay, well, if I kill the champion version of it, does it drop a better muffler? And if I kill the boss monster and it drops a muffler, will it drop a muffler? Does it have a completely different itemized table? Hopefully the way they do it is just, let's say you hunt a monster that normally drops slotted boots or slotted garment, like a muffler. Hopefully when you fight the boss monster version or the champion version and then the boss monster, whatever, when you fight those monsters should drop the same exact gear but with enchant drops. And that's what I'm really hoping for to happen, but I don't have 100% confirmation on that. I haven't really been testing the Secret server as much. They don't really have all the items and everything set up the way I did, and then you still have to hunt for certain items to kind of test it all. Personally, they should just let you copy your characters over. That would make things a lot easier, but maybe it's not that easy for them to do that. So with that being said, the Fever Fields looks like, you know, from what people have tested and said, nothing crazy is bad or bad has happened. Everything's kind of working as intended, and if some things don't work, they can just kind of patch it on the go or on the fly. In terms of WoW, I haven't seen any testing for WoW on Secret, and I don't know if you can actually get a decent amount of people to actually test everything correctly, or why they need to worry about this testing in general. I think they should just roll WoW out and just kind of patch it on the fly, but again, that's not my decision, and I don't have that power, just a suggestion. So we're at a certain point where if they don't really start releasing content in another week or two, I think that's going to really start dramatically hurting the gameplay, because a lot of people are sitting on level 99 characters, maxed out gear, no new content to do other than just, you know, farming for additional monies and stuff like that. But still, you know, hard Zinni is king. You know, that's the most reliable source of Zinni in my opinion. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I hate to say it, man, they have to get their crap together. Granted, I do understand with the COVID-19 thing, I could be a little strained, but they were kind of already going to the point where, like, they weren't really going to have anything prepared for us anyway. Even if there was no, like, pandemic going on right now, I think they would still be behind. So they got to get the WoW out to keep people interested. They could set it to original restarts or original classic drops, that'd be fine. And then they also got to make sure they get this Fever filled in, and then they need to patch an Abyss. I mean, right now, most of that stuff should already be in the game because they said around the 6th of March, and now we're looking on this is the 23rd. And this is the point where we should be looking towards our next thing. We should have had all that content in the game, and we should have been looking towards maybe Keel for the next content updates or something like that, and so on and so forth. So, I mean, that's the main thing. I do have a couple things that I do want to talk about, basically what's been going on in the forums and everything on Transcendence. Like I said, the main thing is, somebody asked a question, when is WoW going to be implemented? Seems said March 6th is here, 11, no word about it. I know it's quite a few people are losing interest, yada yada yada. And I think to like the first major one, if I'm not incorrect, I'm looking for like a major post. ETA on WoW information is end of the month. That is if no one gets sick, there's a staff post here. And that is a good point, because you know what? Somebody could get sick and that could affect a lot of stuff. Any ETA when you'll add the new WoW server. Majority of the population is waiting for WoW end of the month, assuming no one gets sick. So we gotta hope for that. We're waiting. So end of the month. This week ends on the 29th, and the next week we got the 30th on Monday, 31st on Tuesday, and then we're into April. So they should definitely be getting a WoW this week. So I don't know what's going on, man. So it doesn't look like it's going to come in this week. I don't think it will be. I don't know if they really need to do testing of the foundation. I got to get off my ass and level my Saxator. He's currently level 97, but for me, I'm just kind of, it's not that I don't care. It's just I really just lost the urge to play, because I mean, at least on Restart, they kept the updates fresh and going, so I always had something to look forward to every week on the patch day. And they really haven't been doing that. And they got a lot of competitive games out. They have PoE that has their new league right now, Diablo. If people still play that game, I don't know why. They also have all the new console games coming out, and also PC games. They got Resident Evil getting ready to come out. They got also the new, what is it called? Like Secret of Mana game coming from Square Enix, like a remake of the old school Secret of Mana Super Nintendo game. And they also got, you know, coming out the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and not to mention all the other releases and stuff like that. So this is the time to release all this stuff, because people are home right now, and, you know, people are going to be quarantining for the next month or two. And if they release all this content, you know, they can do very well for themselves and just keep everything alive and people being interested in everything like that. Another question here, he says, hey, Camper, can you tell me if these champion monsters will appear on other maps, or will they be in Orc Dungeon only? And I'm glad he had a clarification here. Frenzy Fever monsters will be specific to that map. The Orc ones spawn in Orc Dungeons, the Dragon ones spawn in Abyss Lake. And the last one, any thoughts on just increasing drop chances of surf so each monster drop loot per table? At current drop rate 3% only. They're talking about 0.03% get a card. Need that much higher testing stuff will be a lot easier. The testing NPC has further items to increase drops. I wish they would just put all the cards on the test server so you can just pick out all the cards you want instead of having to wait for that, or go to like an enchanter and he can put whatever regular stats so you can test out your character and see how it is. That's really daunting for some people on you know, going on to create a test stuff when you still have to hunt stuff, you know. 4 rounds will be open, 5 castles per round. Treasures will be classic style, unique gun parts in most castles. Empyreans will have renewal stats, and that's pretty much, you know, everything we thought it would be, you know. Outside of all that and what's going on, if I'm not incorrect, let me go ahead and check right here. My next thing here is from the patch notes that they put out last week. Added Secret NPC in Novice Training Grounds 2-1. Add death penalty from 3 to 1% on the main servers. That's cool. Adjusted Wing of Mistress to have no level requirement. I didn't know about that. That's cool, I guess. Adjusted daily log rewards. Increased Strauss respawn rate. Look, there's not enough Strauss inside of Bylon to make it worth it. I need 30 Strauss down there. Not 2, not 5, not 10. I need 30. 30. We'll say 25 on instantaneous spawn, 5 on like a 10-minute spawn. But we need more Strauss down there. It is not worth it in Bylon besides that. I'm just going to be honest. Newscast up items are kind of like whatever. In all the different costumes and stuff like that. Nothing really going on there. O'Reilly's Misfortune, worthless. The green ales are not that great. The hat is okay if you get it to +7 and it has a socket, but all it does is have a chance to heal yourself with the green ale, which is okay, maybe for a attack speed character, but then every time you chug a green ale, you get chaos on you. Or you have a chance to get chaos. So that's kind of meh. 50% more experience, 25% less drops. That ain't, I mean, hey man, make it an even 100, make it a 50% increased drop. That would definitely get people on. And then outside of all that, man, those are just the really main things and stuff like that. It's not really much that's been added to what's been going on. You know, the only other thing I've really seen was that people were having like a little debate on whether or not they should have a stat reset. The way I feel is they shouldn't have any stat reset whatsoever. Because it's too easy to level up on this server compared to how RO used to be. And it's, I mean, if you really want to leech a character, you could take something to Evil Druids and leech it to level 80 and then, you know, leech it, do whatever you gotta do for the rest of the way. Now, if you're like leeching like a woe build, it's gonna take a lot longer. But I mean, if you want, you can use those manuals, go to Evil Druids, one-shot them all the day. You can do Pasanas if you want to lead somebody down there. You can do Anolians and stuff like that. But the easiest, like, Evil Druids are just too easy to kill. And it gives so good experience. It only gets slow when you get to 97. And then you just pop manuals, you just ride it on through and kill everything. Not to mention all the Evil Bolons you get. Yeah, you know, not to mention how they got the Flywing now in the Caffer shop that lets you teleport the entire party. There's definitely easy ways for you to leech your character, you know, and there really is no excuse why people shouldn't be leeching their characters to get up. Or you just make parties, or you just level the character in regular groups. You know, they got all the tools necessary for you to go out there and level and get your WoW character builds ready. There's no reason. Plus, we've had so much time. I got a level 99 Crusader that is a Holy Cross Spirit Crusader. I got a level 97 100% Crit Crusader. I have a level 97 Saxator, which I need to get the last 2 levels. I have a level 93 Knight, a level 85 Knight. You know, it's not terribly hard at all to level in the server, because if you just want to go easy mode, you just go to Evil Druid and you can ride that shit out to 97. So, you know what? If they do a soft reset where you can reset 5 stats every week or something like that, that's cool. Anything beyond that, it just will wreck the game. The only thing I want to call it the hypocrisy of is that people didn't like the idea of them putting, like, you know, like chick hat inside of the Caffer shop so people can get the free double attack or other certain items or weapons. And I'm like, alright, cool. If you guys don't want that stuff and you want players to hunt for it, that's fine. But a lot of the same players are now, they don't like the headgears and the gear you can buy from Caffer shop, but they want a stat reset. Like, no, it doesn't work like that in RO, man. The only time people got really big stat resets, or they should get them, is if they're like implementing new skills or certain builds. Like when they do the revamp for the skills, yes, you should get a stat reset because the skills change. That's understandable. stat reset for no reason other than the fact that you just don't want to level another character is unacceptable. They even made it easier when they made it so you can reset your job, so you can make your job a certain way, level it up, and then reset to, you know, a WoW build. So, I mean, I know that might sound a little cruel, that might sound a little crazy, but no, I really hope they don't do the reset. Or, you know, if they did do a stat reset, you know what? Fine, but make it like 30 bucks. You know, at least Gravity can make some money out of it. That would be a hot mess. And make it so you can also maybe even make it so you can sell them in the little merchant shops or with your merchant or whatever. But you know, like I said, it's not that serious. But that's pretty much all I got for the week, man. I wish I had more content for you guys and stuff like that. I'm gonna slowly but steadily get this sack reset to 99. I've been enjoying a lot of PoE. That's been pretty much fun. But outside of that, man, just make sure you guys stay inside. Make sure you practice safe, hygienical practices. Make sure you wash your hands the appropriate way. Make sure you use social distancing. Make sure that when you go out, you're only going out for things that you need. Help a neighbor, help somebody if they need it, somebody old or somebody senior community or immunity compromised and they don't want to go out and you can go shopping for them and drop some groceries at the door, then please do that. You know, we got to pull this all together so, you know, we can get a lot better and get the country back to how it's supposed to be. Gravity, if you're out there listening, please, I hope no one gets sick so we can get well out and get all this other content out because we are hurting right now. I'm not going to lie, man. If nothing changes by next week, I don't know what I'll be able to talk about or do. I'm pretty sure I'll find some to talk about, you know, because I know you guys appreciate these videos. But outside of all that, man, good luck with your characters. If you're not got your character situated for WoW, you better ask around. 100 vid is not a joke for most classes. You know, knights, monks, and priests are very serious for WoW. Crusaders are good for sacrifice for your guild leaders so they can get off guild recalls and stuff. So, you know, make sure you guys start doing research into WoW, man, and how things went down on Restart. If you guys catch me streaming, you can ask me questions even when I'm streaming PoE, man. Just come by and ask me if you got a question of what WoW builds are. I can explain them to you. Or maybe I'll put together a little something so everybody knows what's up with the WoW builds so people are not freaking out. But, you know, WoW builds do make a dramatical difference. PvE builds are okay, but when you bring them into WoW, especially if people have Dazzler spamming dancers, you're just going to be stunned everywhere unless you have a priest following you around, stat recovering you, and they're too busy buffing and doing other stuff. So, that's it. See you guys next week. Hope to see you guys every day on the stream. And also, so you guys know, we do a podcast every 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on twitch.tv/SPSDebo. So stop on by, man. We do it live, or just wait for it to eventually get uploaded to the YouTube channel. All right, hit me with that like, subscribe, and that bell notification so you guys know next time I make a video. And I will see you guys, barring nothing crazy happens, next week. I'm Debo and I'm out.